Quick, what's the worst part about the Switch? That's right, it's the kickstand. Now, if you said something else, I don't know what to tell you, this footage is pre-recorded. You technically had no choice at all. However, I do appreciate your commitment and your participation. Now, why am I talking about the kickstand? Well, believe it or not, I get a lot of messages about different things about the Switch, specifically replacement parts. A lot of times they ask about case replacements because they lost their Switch case, since they're kind of unique and they take the card and everything to fit in there. They usually lose the case and they ask where can you buy them. Nintendo actually has them, well, on their site. You can go on a replacement parts site, you can buy cases, and you can buy the kickstand, something else that everyone always asks for. But third-party kickstands have started to pop up, specifically one from Nyko. Now, if you don't know, the Nyko kickstand is actually made out of metal. It's not a plastic one. And if you remember, before the Switch came out, even afterwards, people made fun of, well, the very weak and very fragile or feeble kickstand on the Switch. So, I want to take a look at a metal one. Nyko sent this over for me to take a look at to see how it would fare in, well, everyday life with the Switch, and definitely in comparison to its current one that you get by default, the plastic kickstand. Now, the first thing I'll say about this metal kickstand is it is solid. It's very sturdy, as you would expect. And if you take a look at it in comparison to the regular plastic kickstand, well, it's about the same shape, same size as it would need to be, since it actually attaches the same spot. And if you take it and kind of bend it in your hands, it's not easy to do, whereas the regular one, you can. And while the color scheme doesn't match your normal Switch, where it would be normally a black or a dark gray like the kickstand, it at least has a premium feel to it. And it does look like a premium kickstand, something that the other one was severely lacking. Also, like this kickstand, has a nice little feature where you can actually put an SD card, a micro SD card, right inside of it. So it kind of sits in there. There's two edges that it slots into. Here's where things start to fall apart for this kickstand though. See, it doesn't really store it well. In fact, when I actually tried to slide it in after applying the sticker that I believe was there to show you which direction it goes in, and then of course how it slides in, well, it doesn't really work that well. In fact, a few of the SD cards I tried to put in there, you have to push pretty hard and it ends up scratching your SD card, and removing them is just as much of a nightmare. And it's pretty straightforward why this is, and we'll go over that in a minute, because we also have to take a look at how it attaches to your Switch. See, of course, you have to remove your old one, which is pretty easy to do because the kickstand is at least designed to be removed. You basically just pull on it in the opposite direction and it will eventually pop off. At that point, you can pretty much pop on the metal one, except you want to hold your Switch so that you're not pressing directly on the screen, because you do have to apply some force to get this on there. Now, after it was on there, it does have a little protrusion from where that micro SD card would be stored on the opposite side, but it doesn't affect anything when you lay it flat, because the Joy-Cons, of course, hold it up so that that never actually touches or affects the way it lays, which is cool. However, if you don't have the Joy-Cons on, it absolutely does, which can be an issue for games like maybe Monopoly. It's not a major issue, but it definitely can affect things. Now, while it is on there, it does feel more sturdy. Remember how people would push on it and you could kind of bend the kickstand at times? Sometimes it'll pop off. You really don't have that issue with the metal kickstand, which is a plus. However, it doesn't do things like the clicking noise that the regular kickstand makes when you open it. It sits to a certain angle, if you guys know, and then it clicks and you're good. The metal one does not get that same click, at least not to the same volume. You kind of have to listen or even feel for it, and that could be a bit of an issue with that metal kickstand. Now, the big issue I noticed is because there is no other material on this and it's all metal, it tears your Switch up pretty badly. Let me explain what I'm trying to say here. If I were to remove my metal kickstand and put the old kickstand back on, because of the way the metal kickstand attaches to the bottom where it uses metal teeth to dig into the plastic, very soft plasticky surface of the Switch, your kickstand doesn't grab the same way. In fact, it doesn't really sit the same way either. And that's because that metal part pretty much really just tears up any part of the Switch that is not metal as well, which is pretty much the entire outside. In fact, this is the same reason it scratches up and tears up any SD cards you want to put in there. I would not put any SD card you care about into this metal kickstand because it will chew it up pretty well. Again, they can fix this pretty easily. Nyko, if you're paying attention here, make it so that any part that either attaches to the Switch, especially the bottom part, or any that comes in contact with the SD card and holds it, make those a different type of material. Make them plastic, make them rubber even, make them something that's at least the same hardness as whatever it's attaching to, and you don't get that issue. That's why really the kickstand that we have normally does not chew up the Switch. I really wanted to like this metal kickstand because I do think the kickstand is a weakness on the Switch and something that can be fixed over time. Unfortunately, Nyko's first shot at this really isn't worth buying and can actually damage your Switch, and it can damage any of your SD cards. I really don't recommend putting this anywhere near your Switch, possibly waiting for either a revised version of this one with a couple of things I just talked about, or even other ones that come out. This won't be the last kickstand that comes out, since it is easy to remove and it's not very expensive. This one, for example, is $5. The Nintendo official one that you get on their website as a replacement is about $4. These aren't expensive parts. Honestly, if they made some improvements and had to raise it for 10 bucks, it might be worth it, because even then, not super expensive for something that could be quality. Anyway, guys, that's it for now. I just wanted to give you a good look at the kickstand and let you know, since people do ask me from time to time, like I said, what's a good kickstand? Is there a replacement, or is there a better third party? As of now, not really. Again, stay away from this one. Wait for some more options, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, definitely hit the like button, and then, of course, subscribe down below for more reviews, news, and other gaming information. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you next time.